Welcome to Operations and Supply Chain University. I'm Jerry Wright. This is Ops University Lean Six Sigma Black Belt Certification course, lesson number 22. These are example Lean Six Sigma Black Belt projects. So the first one is one that I did. This is front-end scheduling at Power Partners Incorporated. This is the first example we'll show. These are fairly long projects, and they're not in the exact format that we're looking to see, but they're very similar, so you'll get an idea of what is included. I did this when I got my black belt back at UC San Diego. So again, here are the team members and project charter. So you can see the different people are there. The project charter we have for you is slightly different, but you get the idea. And then my instructor, my master black belt was Rick Vanderlinden, who was the instructor at that time. I had my project event or charter, which you can see on the right, again, different than the one we expect you to use, but a lot of the same elements. Now, problem statement, again, we had moved our in-house core production to a supplier in the previous year, and lead times have ballooned to nearly a month when we were used to having them just be a couple days. And there were thousands of cores being stocked out. These are the cores for a transformer, a power distribution transformer. Customers are expecting 4-week lead times, and it was not working. So the goal of this was to improve the benefits, reduce the lead time, ensure we had cores that we needed, and make sure we also complied with the new Department of Energy standard for design of transformers that ship on time. So voice of the customer, who were the customers? They were large utility companies like San Diego Gas and Electric, Pacific Gas and Electric, SoCal Edison, Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, Southern Company, Iberdrola, Dominion, and so forth. What do they want? They want reliable, quality pole mount or submersible transformers that meet the Department of Energy requirements, and they're at a fair price and an expected lead time frame because they're typically custom ordered, which would be 4 to 6 weeks. Quote from the customer before the project was, "Hey, we pay a premium for your Power Partners transformers since they're considered the best in the industry, but we're not going to wait for more than 6 weeks to have them shipped to us. We'll get whatever we have to get." Quote from another customer after the project, "It's great that your current promise dates are just 4 weeks out. We have a lot of replacement needs now, and your competitors are 6 to 8 weeks. So we're going with the better product at the faster lead time." So it's a nice before and after. Tools applied, again, a lot of tools applied here. You don't have to apply all the tools in the toolbox for your Lean Six Sigma projects, just the ones that make sense. And this fairly complicated project, we used a lot of them. Actions taken to improve processes. We completed a front-end scheduling Kaizen event. We changed how we did core inventory. We resized all of our Kanbans to minimize stockouts. We moved our scheduling workbench to infinite for Kanban cords to make sure that we had what we needed. We revised the front-end scheduling process. We went to level scheduling in our large winding and our shell form and core form winding. We completed a change control blitz to make sure we could do changes effectively. We updated our ISO procedure for change control, and we implemented a document change control center. So let's go through some of those highlights. Here's the front-end scheduling blitz team. You can see there, I'm not pictured because I was taking the photo. And I just heard from Scott in the center in the blue shirt. He just retired just a little bit before I did. Now, front-end scheduling process current state, the biggest challenge was that Jerry B, his schedule and his scheduling process were not well known. So we really documented to understand exactly how it's being done. And interestingly enough, Jerry B, who's there in green, did retire shortly after this Kaizen event. And Wesley, the guy in the yellow shirt on the left-hand side, took it over. So it's good that we knew what we were doing. The current state, we drew out the current state value stream map, and you can see it there. And we really focused on the areas where we had big delays. Now, before we did the core analysis, you could see this is one that had no issues. We still had a demand spike there, but we were typically within control. And then you can see there the standard deviation of this is pretty high, 55. That's not what we want to see. Also, this is another core, no issues. We did another analysis on this. And again, the CPK on this was below 1.33, so still not acceptable. And then this one is one that we had a lot of issues. We had demand issues, problems where we didn't have it. We had spikes. It was not going well. And you can see here we had not really great distribution. And here's the CPK analysis. Our process capability is very low, 0.1927. Blue is good, red's bad, a lot of red. So we came up with a future state plan during this Kaizen event. We said that we just need to focus on those front and back bubbles. So the ones that were 8 to 15 days, we needed that to be 2 to 4 days. And on the back end, 3 to 5 days, we wanted to be 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 days. So we really just focused our lead time on reducing those areas where we had long time frames. So stocked cores would go to infinite availability in the scheduling system. They're currently fixed at 11 to 15 days, and that's not going to work. We made some MTO quarters, went to what we called stocked or consignment Kanban. And then the scheduling posts on the floor would go from 6 days to 3 days. We didn't need that long. And then basically we would do large cores first, followed by shell form core round second, and then core form core round last. With fewer stockouts on course, consolidations would be quicker and take less time. There were a number of follow-up actions completed. All the ones in green were done. The yellows were a bit behind, but eventually were completed. And again, that's just a summary of the actions. We did what we called level loading. So we used these scheduling posts that were basically pull from the front, load from the back. And we actually trained the operators to do scheduling of their own department so that everybody would rotate through typically a week at a time. One person would schedule and then they'd be back on the machine later. So it was really a good process to make sure everyone understand how to schedule the most effective way. Now, this is the output. This is what really mattered. So stocked out dollars on course, we went from the 325,000 level back in the early part of October to by end of December or so before the holiday, we were down to less than 50,000 in dollars of stocked out course. We did a huge change. We looked at the course style in terms of the after state. You can see nothing outside of the limits. And we had a better distribution across the after state. CPK analysis, again, not perfect, but where CPK was up to almost 1. Again, we're going for 1.33, but this is a huge improvement over where it was before. Now, the results achieved from a quantitative perspective, lead time went from 25 days to 15 days as a goal, but no, we actually hit 13 days, so it was even better. Our sales backlog, close to 12 million, we wanted to get it below 10. We actually got below 8. Core stockouts went from 2,081. We were trying to get under 300. We get down to 223, so huge improvement. And the dollars on the core stockouts, 325, we got down to about 34,000. Core freight, so again, shipping these things by rail and truck. Again, our goal was to get it down. We didn't reduce it dramatically, but still good, 916,000 as opposed to over a million. And then winding overtime, a lot of excessive winding overtime. We got it down almost in half. And then retained sales. And again, this was estimated by the director of sales and marketing that we actually retained 8.2 million in sales that we otherwise would have lost due to competitive lead time improvement and things that we just weren't fitting. Annual savings, $265,000, so more than $250,000. Qualitative, again, greatly improved standard work for the level loading and scheduling, higher level of ownership by the operators who are scheduling their own work, much easier scheduling on the front end due to shorter lead times, better communications between supply chain and marketing, and better communication amongst all the teams in the plant. Good process to communicate changes and discuss before we go, and then better alignment and accountability from our change control blitz, which I'll cover right now. So again, we did a change controls blitz. You can see me in the back there. Someone else took this picture. Control plan owner was Al. And again, the controls were to make sure our internal change notice control process was the primary driver of controlled changes. We had a daily Gemba document control center board, which I'll show in a minute. So it got updated and pulled from and dropped off twice a day, 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Now, this was the ICN flowchart, and the reason there's so much busyness to it is sometimes some changes don't have form, fit, or function, and they're just cosmetic, or sometimes they have a form, fit, or function, so they have different paths to follow to completion. But this is the one we used and developed, and everybody followed. It was pretty straightforward. Here's our change control board. This is where we drop off documents, and they basically had to move by the next point. So every 8 hours, the documents needed to move and stay on track. Training was provided in the second Kaizen Blitz events on tools. We did mentoring for Wesley and Anthony so they could use the Hey Junka tool. And then Kanban training and mentoring was provided to Jordan on the cores. Change controls provided engineering on Kaizen, and then lead time and value stream mapping was made to the entire team. So lessons learned, again, we did not realize how much outsourcing of cores had hurt our lead time. Everybody was delighted to understand how we did front-end scheduling, and the impact of uncommunication on the new Department of Energy standard was huge. Establishing a good change control process was very beneficial and helped us, ever more after that. Alignment of the teams and communication really improved, and we found operators do a better job of leveling the schedule than the planners did. That was a good learning. Now, in terms of remaining actions, there were a few things that Al and Wesley had to do, as well as Jordan and Al and Jerry and Scott and Cami. But again, these are pretty straightforward and easy. So again, the overall project results. The results of this Lean Six Sigma Black Belt project has reduced transformer lead time from 25 to 13 days, reduced core stockout level from 2,081 to 223, and the associated dollars associated with that in just one quarter. Reduced total freight for course by 24,000 per year, reduced overtime and coil winding by almost 48,000 per year, and then reduced transformer sales backlog from 11.5 million to under 8 million ending in just one quarter. So that was that project. Here's another one I want to share with you. This is by one of my good friends, Jose Cappuccino, works at Costco Wholesale in their wholesale division that supports the warehouses. This is Lean Six Sigma Black Belt project number 2. This is line 9 snack nut production at Costco Wholesale Industries in San Diego area. So again, he had a very similar team member name. And again, he was working on reducing challenges and costs with the snack nut line number 9. He had his project event and charter, you can see very similar to the one I had, that had to be signed and updated. Now the production line, so they were doing automated packaging and production of snack nuts. You can see the boxes down there. If you've ever bought these at Costco, there's different like almonds and cashews and peanuts in these snack nut boxes. A lot of automated equipment, weighing, packaging, all that kind of stuff. Now the problem statement, initial goal is to reduce shrink and overpack with the secondary focus on increasing productivity for the snack nut vendor pack. The benefits to the business is to make it more effective, reduce quality issues without overpacking or shrink issues. And then the benefits to the customer would be an increase in product availability, as well as making sure they have exactly what they expect out of the product. So voice of the customer, who are the customers? They're the corporate buyers who buy the snack nuts and to distribute them to the warehouses. Again, they want to have top quality products at the best possible prices. We need to make sure we do high quality and have compliance to food safety standards, and then make sure we have good, ecologically sensitive packaging capabilities. So tools applied. So for Jose, he did a lot of these different tools, very similar to the one you saw earlier. And again, a lot of variance analysis on peanut production, almond production, and cashew production, which you'll see here. So we did Pareto's on where the challenges were. In terms of cashews, I mean, it was a mix of AB, which was target weight and operating speed of the equipment. On peanuts, it was primarily operating speed. And on almonds, it was the weight and operating speed. All those had a big impact on overpack and making sure that things were done properly. So you can see some other variance analysis. Is a little small to go through, but that was the data analysis that was done. Then they did a Kaizen event on line number 1. They performed a waste walk. They mapped the production process. They identified potential sources of product shrink. And they looked at, how the weighing was going, the line speed, because they had adjustment capability on the line speed to make sure things were done correctly. Here's a photo of some of the Kaizens that were happening in the room that Jose was leading. And then Kaizen weight settings, they figured out what the proper operating speed and weight settings would be, including an over limit, a discharge, and bias weight. They got all those settings set up. And then once they analyzed it and set this, and again, a lot of work happened during that time, here's what they found out. And this is by nut type for cashews, almonds, and peanuts. For cashews, they reduced the overpack by over 25%. Actually did the same with almonds and peanuts. When you looked at the cost savings per period, and again, they do 13 4-week periods per year, it was $55,654 per period, or $723,000 in savings per year. So it was significant, high volume, high savings. That's the quantitative results. Qualitative, the line leads gained a better understanding of the correlation between the amount of overpack and the various weight scale programming settings. There was some uncertainty about which programming settings were appropriate and have been removed. There's a greater sense of teamwork. People have a better channels of communication, and people better understand groundwork for other future improvements. So there was a control plan put together. The first shift lead knowing, the second shift lead Javier, in terms of making sure they controlled speed, making sure that we checked the weights and kept up on those appropriate fill areas. And then in training and mentoring, again, for Kaizen event number 1, there was training done. This was done by Jose, a couple classes of 20 peoples, 20 employees each. They also did continuous improvement training and then regular contributions into the continuous improvement monthly newsletter were part of this project. So lessons learned, obtained a greater understanding of the production process, gained a higher respect for production personnel, had good engagement, interaction with the production personnel. Personal for Jose, he said things are never as easy as they seem. Appearances can be deceiving, and it's always important to be humble as you move into a project. So again, slightly different than the first one, but this gives you an idea. There's a fair amount of work to be done, measurement analysis, to get a project finished. So again, there's just a couple examples. Thank you.